following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness, the podcast that diffuses the bomb in the wedding cake that is Hallmark movies. I'm Joe, and with me as always, fresh from her bridal shower with Bang Bang Bart, it's Barney.
Aiming those darts at those balloons, top notch.
And a woman raised by circus jugglers, or whatever it was, it's Katie. I can't remember, it feels so long ago.
A knife? Wasn't it a knife thrower or a bird watcher? There was like a few different uncles she had.
Raised by a lot of... It takes a village. If you would like to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Great gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. If you want to send us death threats, do it, coward.
On yellow construction paper, though, please.
Yes. One wedding.
Make sure it's a good pun.
Yeah.
Say I do to death. Still the best one.
We've been away for a little bit because it was my birthday and I had to leave the county.
Ooh, should've.
due to mate, I've put on about 2 stone. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I could see from them pictures. I was like, he's being force-fed. I hope he's got his stretchy pants.
2 cakes, right? Because they were like, oh, come and pick. You can pick your cake. And I was like, I don't really care for cake. So they went to, is it Cake Box that does the egg-free ones? And I was like,
yeah.
They all look very nice and stuff. And I was like, well, I don't want to create a fuss because they were like 30 quid a cake. And I thought, oh, I'm not worth that. But they had these little ones that were like, yay big. So I said, oh, I'll have one of them. Turns out it's a fucking cheesecake, innit? So we had to get another proper cake for people that didn't like cheesecake. So if anything, I cost £12 more in the long run. Try to be nice. I will say, if Egg Box or Cake Box want to sponsor us, I will gladly hawk my soul for cheesecake because it was fit.
Was it good? I don't really like cake, but
go on.
I was gonna say I had one of those baked cheesecakes recently. I don't had one before. You know, the like Spanishy ones.
Oh yes. You
know what I mean? Where they're cooked and you don't understand why. It was so good, but it was like I described it as like a sweet quiche.
Yes, it's No,
it doesn't sound very appetizing, but it was good. Sweet quiche.
I think I've met him down the docks.
he was the main character of this film.
Sweet quiche. Yeah, but yeah, would recommend. I'm probably end up getting a lot of cream on the cake, so I will say that. Not a big fan of cream, despite what you may have heard down the docks. Anyway, moving on. We're back into regular rotation now. Thank you to anyone that did donate money after last week's little mad ramble. It is appreciated. But we are back and we are returning with 2017's Walking the Dog. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this about yo-yo tricks? No, it's not. Barney, your synopsis, please.
Chip Law is single but has the undivided attention of his cocker spaniel Lola. One morning when going for a walk with Lola, Chip discovers a dead woman in the wood.
Ooh.
He calls it in and then his life is turned upside down as forensics can only find his DNA on her body. Chip must use all his barrister knowledge to save himself from prison.
That sounds great.
That sounds infinitely better than this bag of wank that I had to sit through.
I know. I was like,
You do this every week, Barney.
I know. It's better than the actual films are. Someone should employ you to just write the outlines. The actual outline for Walking the Dog, I only picked it because it looked fun off the thing. Rival lawyers battle each other in court as their respective dogs fall madly in love, bringing their guardians together at every turn until they reluctantly realise it may not just be the pups who are each other's true Valentine.
It's not really that, because he's a mad stalker. He wants to bone her. Right?
Yeah, but she looks a bit like a skeleton.
She looks a bit like a non-union Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, I've got non-union Selma Blair for her friend later.
Oh, yeah.
I
can't remember her name, so I just wrote assistant all the way through it. That's not very,
Dahlia, yeah. This is a film that was made. That is the nicest thing I can say about it.
It had dogs in it. That was good.
The dogs in it were the best bit. If they removed all the humans and just had the dogs, it would have been better. Because
most things would be.
Yeah, nothing. It commits the cardinal sin of nothing happening. But I've got 8 lines of notes. Let's go through this. Oh, we open on a lovely coastal bike path with our heroine, Christy, who for some reason I've gotten as Chrissy all the way through this.
She is Chrissy.
She is Chrissy.
Chrissy something, I can't remember.
On the IMDb, it says Christy.
Oh.
Christy Simmons, she's called.
Christy Simmons.
Oh, I put it as Chrissy.
He works down the docks now, definitely.
Can I also point out that she's not on a cycle lane? Because that
That's
is what
very
they argue
important.
about.
That's the main, that's the in the name of the father aspect of this film, is bike lane politics. Yeah, she's
Did,
riding alone.
Me and James debated this. Did you think the dogs barking were barking to the theme tune or just barking? Because I thought they were barking to the theme tune. I thought they were in time with the theme tune.
No,
James didn't.
I don't think that it was. If it was unintentional, but it would have made the film better.
Oh, he was here.
Hey.
But yeah, no, I thought it was in time.
No, I don't know. I'm not going to rewatch it to find out.
No.
Christy is riding through the neighborhood, waving at everyone because it's a small coastal town. They all know each other.
Hello, yeah.
It's great.
Lots of people with dogs waving at her.
Everyone has a dog on this island, it would appear, and a
Apart
bike.
from her.
Yeah, well, she's just hates dogs. They killed her father. There's a tiny shitty Sydney Opera House behind them, and then we go to the cafe that her mum runs. Barb's, which is just someone's house, isn't it? Because I've never been in a shop and there's stairs going upstairs as soon as you get in. Like,
No.
it's weird, isn't it? And all the local sweaty cyclists have got together and they're going to march on town hall and demand a bike lane for a small coastal town with a population of about 500 people, it looks like.
Yeah.
Who are all in that coffee shop.
And who were arguing that they kept taking into cars or something because they were on the road. But in her long montage of cycling, she didn't hit into one car.
No, she was on the pavement for a lot of it.
Fine journey for her.
No, it annoyed me. So Christy is a lawyer who does a lot of pro bono work.
Lawyer.
She's so compassionate.
Who also, her office is a house.
Yeah, I thought that. I was like, why do people keep walking into her house without knocking? And then I realised it was supposed to be her office.
It's because outside she's got Chrissy Simmons.
Lawyer. If you want bike lanes, I'm your lass. I don't know. I think it must be like the Cosby Show where his like doctor's thing was in the house as well. I didn't understand why you'd have your job so close.
Yeah, the vets was in the house, wasn't it? Well?
Yeah, the vets wasn't very well equipped either.
It felt more like a Pets at Home, didn't it? Really? Yeah, she's sorting out this bike lane. She just bought a load of stuff from the vets. I know the vets have stuff in there, but not everything you would need to outfit a dog, surely. Anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah, so they're going to march on, but apparently a big city lawyer's going to come in and shoot them out of the water because no bike lanes in this town for some reason.
Bang, bang, bang.
It's not going to be bang, bang. It's I'm a simple country chicken. Yeah. She goes to see her boyfriend, Bill, who is the vet.
Yeah.
And is the dampest man in the world, isn't he?
So dull. There seems to be a theme with these films where they currently have a very boring boyfriend and they need an exciting, arrogant boyfriend instead.
Replace him with a slightly more exciting boyfriend. It's like, I'm going to paint the walls eggshell white instead of white. It's fucking dull. Yeah. Mushroom instead of beige. It's he's looking after, she knows everyone. She knows the receptionist, Nancy. Wrote the names down. But there's a dog there that was going to be adopted, but someone can't adopt it because they're in prison.
I didn't understand this.
For trying to assassinate the president.
It wasn't that exciting. She broke her ankle or something.
It's always
The woman who was supposed to foster wasn't available, so they needed a foster for the foster or something like that.
Yeah, and it all falls apart later anyway when he says, what he says. And I thought, well, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Then there was contention because nobody knew what the dog was called originally.
Yes.
They were all on the text.
I was like, is this dog called Digit? And you were like, no, Fidget.
No,
and I was like, I heard pigeon.
Very confusing calling a dog pigeon. Yeah, my autocorrect changed it. It's the dog is called Gidget, and it is like a little scruffy terrier thing, and it's adorable.
It's very cute.
But
Very
it is
well
the
trained.
best thing in this by a country mile.
So cute.
So she goes, I'll look after it. It's only for 3 weeks, which is just the length of time my bike path court case is going to take.
There's
OJ's trial wasn't that long.
There's some sort of I couldn't really work it out. There's some reason she doesn't have pets anymore, but that's not quite clear. She's like, oh, my policy on I don't have pets anymore, and then it never explains why.
My uncle was killed by a terrier.
His snapping turtle. Yeah, I didn't understand. So, but she outfits this dog. She buys like a bed. There's a little montage of her buying stuff in the vets. Just nick
And
it.
the dog
His
dragging
boyfriend.
around a teddy.
Yeah, it's good. The dog's the best thing in it, as I've said. She takes it home and then takes it on a walk and meets Simon the dog and his owner Keith.
Simon is very cute as well.
Yes.
I think
What breed is Simon?
Simon is a very small retriever. You can bear with me 1 second. I can tell you exactly. I can tell you what kind of. Gidget is a border terrier.
Yeah.
And Simon is a Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever. It is a
Duck,
medium-sized
okay.
dog, 40 to 50 pounds, bred mostly for hunting. It is
What
the
is the
smallest
width of his spine?
If his spine is too big, then it's the smallest of the retriever, and he's often mistaken for a small golden retriever. Perspective, innit? Like, how far away is that dog? Yeah. They are
He's
known
very
to be
cute.
smart, independent, and curious.
I thought he had a corgi's bum.
I mean, see if it floats in
It was
water.
very cute, very fluffy and wide, like a corgi's bum.
How wide? Hey, Gidget is
2 man's
actually
hands.
two man's,
Widths of 2 man's hands.
2 emaciated children's forearms. She meets Simon and Gidget hit it off, go off to do dog stuff together, sniff each other's asses. I don't know.
Dig a hole every time we see Gidget. She's digging a hole.
She's trying to get away from Christy, isn't she? That's why.
Christy
Hates
Crusty
her.
Pants.
Anyway, and Keith is like, oh, hello, lady. It looks a bit like a skeleton. Well, you look sexy. Let's have a flirt. And she's like, oh,
We both have dogs.
I'm going out with a damp vet. Right, and that's that. That's their first meet cute. And it gets no better from there, people.
No, it really doesn't.
She goes home, she's talking to the dog, and she's going, oh, I bet you love Simon, don't you? And the dog's going, I have no concept of what you're on about. I'm a dog. Now, bring me some schmackos. She goes to meet her mum. Her dad's
It's
dead.
the same age.
He's the same age.
Yeah.
But my favourite bit about this was Mum comes in and just starts stroking photographs. Just like,
I've got that. Yeah. Strokes her dead dad's face. And
I'm
she's
so
like, oh,
sad.
maybe you should get on dating apps. Only
Zingle.
if you do. No, Zingle's the off-brand Google.
Oh. What's the dating ones?
There was a dating one. I think it was just called like, I can't remember
Your
now.
match.
Problems. It was only a couple of weeks back as well, that one. Anyway, so yeah, that happens. And then she ends up seeing a car with the license plate Law 1.
No.
That's it.
Because
That's
Dredd
exciting.
is in town.
That's what I was thinking. If Dredd just got out and just shot her in the face, it would have been a better film.
It would
No.
have. And then we could have put her in the woods, and then Keith could have found her.
Chip Crescent or whatever he was called.
Chip Law.
Chip Law. Damn it. But and she's like, oh, what kind of dickhead has a personalized license plate that says Law 1? And we go, we know who it is, don't we? It's Keith. And the next day, at the first day of this multi-day hearing for a fucking bike lane, it turns out that Keith is the prosecution. I don't know how it
why
works.
it was a court case.
I don't understand why it was. No.
He was for the island, and she was for the people of the island.
I mean,
Why was it in court?
yeah, I
Because
didn't
it would
understand
cost money.
Well, that's not a court case, though, is it? That's like a
That's what I
council
thought.
issue.
Why was there a judge there? I don't understand.
How much crime is
literally
going on
wrote-
this tiny island to warrant a big courthouse and a judge?
I literally wrote, is this how petitions work? You just go to court.
But yeah, so she's like, we need a bike lane because people keep getting hit by cars somehow, mysteriously. Ghost cars, I'm guessing. And he's like, well, you'll have to get a lane for everything, won't you? A walking lane. I think that's a pavement,
Joggers.
right?
Surfers.
Joggers.
No, mate, because surfers are in the sea.
Yeah.
There is a swimming lane somewhere. I
In
want
the
to say
swimming bath.
At the end of the
no.
swimming pool.
No, I think it's in Germany. There's like a path you can swim along, like to
Is that
work.
in Venice?
No, like a cycle path, but it's just water, and you just bomb along. I'm sure it's real.
No, there's not.
I'm starting to
No.
doubt myself now. I'm sure it's on an episode of
Sounds
Eurotrash.
Amazing.
That's insane. So they've got 5 lanes set up. One man's jogging along, one man's on a bike, one man's just swimming.
It's a
and one man's still
triathlon but
going.
in one go. You've all got to keep
insane.
pace with each other, and then you swap and come back the other way with the Gregs. I don't know, but yeah, and she's like, "No, why are you being a dick? We just want a bike lane." And then he's like, well, "Why don't we just take the sidewalk up?" And I'm like, I don't understand why he's so angry about
And yeah,
this.
he's being really like sarcastic, and then the judge is like, "Yes, he is being facetious, but there's a good point under all of that facade." or something
Yeah,
like
but
This-
that's
this
not
isn't-
how court works.
that. No,
I don't think
court's
she
not
was a
about
real.
cycle lanes.
No, no.
Look, they have got one of them women that takes the notes, presses all them buttons, and does the note
Stenographer.
thingies. That's her. No,
Yeah.
a stenographer's a thing in it.
It's a stenographer. I'm sure it is.
I can't help.
I mean, I'm wrong because I've just imagined a swimming lane. So don't take anything I say as gospel.
I'm just imagining like you're bazzing it up the M60 in a swim lane.
No, it's not.
breaststroking it.
No. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna show you.
Get in
so
the
then-
fast lane.
And then you'll be yeah, just full of pee.
Just imagine old ladies bobbing along doing that weird breaststroke.
Not getting their hair wet. Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's better than this film. She's like, well, we'll have to come back tomorrow for some reason. She must be on a retainer, that judge. Eke it out for as long as you can, innit?
For their oral argument.
Where's the you button when you need it? Oh, it's there. There we go. But yeah, they go away. They're now enemies, I think. Like, but they're never like horrible to each other.
No, it's
There's not-
all very nice and
It's all
sweet.
very flirty banter, anyway.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
they're not like, gluing their pubes to each other. It's just anything.
No,
the dogs,
Laura's the worst one
Gluing
in
their
this. Everybody
pubes
else.
together.
I couldn't think of anything. I was trying to think of that film Bridesmaids and what they do in that, and I've obviously got confused because I think she just died. I think she just dyes her hair, doesn't she, in that one?
In Bridesmaids. I don't know.
No,
Bloody
no, not
awful
Bride.
film.
Not Bridesmaid. Bride Wars.
Oh, yeah,
that's-
she just dyes her hair. She doesn't touch her pubes.
that would be a very different film again.
I mean,
I was thinking more like Step Brothers, where he puts his testicles on the drum kit and things.
do you like guacamole? Anyway, this is again. We'll just do bits from other films because it's better than this shite. The dogs are in love now. They go on a doggy date,
Oh, yeah.
and there's lots of them just talking, and it's
About really boring things.
yeah.
I said it's literally like watching a court case about a psychopath. That's what this film was. There wasn't anything else to it. No, it was just,
No, the dogs
it
were
was-
inconsequential. There was no real jeopardy at any point.
no.
There
Even
was
the
one let
one
me
bit,
explain moment. And that was
even the
it.
one let me explain bit was quickly resolved.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
I don't even think she'd like changed her shoes or anything and it was resolved.
And her mother got got a secret admirer.
A secret admirer, and she's like, "Who is it?" And she says like, "Oh, it's probably old Mr. McGillicuddy wanting me to get in on his new pyramid scheme." All right. Well, does that ever come up? Also, your daughter's a lawyer. Pyramid schemes are illegal. Maybe she should do something about that after the bike lane, obviously, because that's the important thing in this town. People go missing all the time here, but
Yeah,
bike
but
lane.
Chrissy's not bothered. She's like, oh yeah, you should go meet him, this weird mystery man.
Yeah.
He might murder you or whatever, but at least you'll have had a good time.
I mean, she has to live her life a little bit, didn't she? Because she had her daughter when she was like 4 years old.
They were born
Drawing
at the
pictures
same
of that
time.
man.
Born at the same time, so she never had a chance to date properly. So
She's the first person to be pregnant in utero. Yeah. Her friend Delia looks like a non-union Selma Blair.
Yeah.
Mum has a secret admirer. Keith says it will cost loads of money to put a bike path in. Would it?
Well, it's just tarmac, isn't it? But is this where she goes mad and starts getting signatures off people?
That's after this, but their oral argument is that she's like, we need it because the town has at least
saying oral argument.
because
that's what the judge said.
There's 50 people in this town who use bicycle lanes, so let's inconvenience everyone else because they're better than you because they cycle, I guess. Then she goes and gets petitions and comes back, and it's like, we want a multi-purpose lane for everything. Oh, like what? Fucking unicycling or Diablo? What? It's what you...
That defeats the point as well, because then
It's
the
gonna be
bikes will be
clogged
in the way. Yeah, the bikes are going to hit into other joggers and shit like that.
It's pronounced
of cars.
yogging.
Yogging.
I'm just imagining two old boys setting up a chess set in the middle of the lane.
You know,
It's like, well,
whatever.
It's multi-purpose.
Yeah, I think you'll find this is
Just
a
like the
multi-purpose
Queen.
lane. I'm going to do roly-polies very slowly now. It makes no sense, but
But she's got 200 signatures now. I thought I had to, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the town, but I
the
thought
roly-poly committee were very up to date on this.
Tiddlywink. I imagine she'd got everyone to put the signature down in like the proviso that Mum gave them free coffee at the cafe because Mum
Yeah.
apparently
Bear-
doesn't charge him anything anyway.
Or bear claws, whatever they are.
Oh, I had to Google it. If he had a bear claw every day, he'd have heart disease. They're like
Are they
what
like
is it?
yum yums?
I don't know what a yum yum is. It's like
Yum Yum's a
pastry
donut.
donut thing. Yeah.
No, Yum Yum's a donut without it's like a finger donut, isn't it? A Yum Yum.
Yeah, with like sort of sugar on top.
Yeah, Ellis gets
Nice
them
sugar.
from the bakery near us.
Yes, but a bear claw, I'm sure it's pumped full of cream in it. so to speak.
Sweet yeast-filled pastry,
Ugh.
You're not selling it.
like a type of Danish. I'd rather have a Danish pastry.
When you say yeast filled, I'm like,
That's just pastry in it. But yeah, because every time we see him, he's like bear claws. I'm like, God, you'd be ginormous. Or have
That's why he's-
diabetes.
that's why he's so wet, because he's like, I can't do any exercise because my heart will explode. He's reached that tipping point then. So he just lets life
All
wash over him.
Internal fat thing going on where thin fat.
Yeah, he's got fat lungs. Bill is a bit of a wet harp, isn't he? Because they go out and then she goes, yeah, I'm gonna have to stop seeing you now, Bill. And he goes, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I wasn't jealous.
Didn't
anyway,
fight for her,
so-
didn't say why. He's just like, okay.
Well, to be fair, they went for a meal, and the whole time she was just smiling at Keith behind him anyway.
Yeah, it was really obviously as
It was
well.
really because Keith sent them champagne and then was just like, hey, for the rest of the evening. You know, like when you bump into someone at Tesco and it's like, oh, I've said hello too soon. Because then every time you see him in the aisles afterwards,
You gotta
you're like,
go
oh,
opposite
all
aisle,
right,
opposite
all right.
aisle system. Yeah. That
Yeah.
point, just abandon your shopping and go home.
I was thinking this film had such a small budget because they had champagne a few times, but it was always half a glass. No one got a full glass of champagne at any point in this film, and
No,
Yeah.
they didn't. You're right.
they were all half glasses.
It's probably Gidget Whittle.
I
Put it through a soda stream.
was thinking Soda Stream, but I couldn't think of Alka-Seltzer.
You could put Alka-Seltzer in
That
it.
would work as
Coming soon. Will it Soda Stream? It's a new experiment we're gonna do.
Is it?
Yeah. If I can convince Chucky to get a Soda Stream, we're gonna
I really want Soda Stream.
just to see like if we can make fizzy gravy or stuff like that.
Really educational stuff then. Yeah.
Shut up. Right. They go for another fucking walk with these dogs, and they're talking about protected land. An old lady had all this land, and she wanted to leave it to the island, but she died, and now bastards have got it.
Pitman plot.
Gonna make it into condos.
Because they're fucking condos. It's always condos.
It's always-
Marie Kondo has a lot to answer for. But also, did you notice when they were walking, everyone had a dog in the background?
Yeah.
Like, they must stink around there.
It's like imagine calling for extras. Do you have a dog? You can come in. I'd be like, no, because Minnie would hate it.
Yeah. No, I'd be like, because are they picking up their tods? Or are they just flicking them into the sea? These are the important questions.
But the man with a kite later on just stood there with his kite.
His dog flew off.
With 1,000 birds behind her at one point.
Oh yeah, pigeons.
Yeah. Pigeons or gidgeons, we don't know. So now they're going to build condos on this, and she's not happy about this. Why she's not fighting this, and she's chose to fight cycle lanes instead, it seems a waste of her lawyerly powers, but here we are. They go to a big lawyer's ball,
Is that a thing?
It is now.
Apparently so. It's the Bar Association's annual ball that they hold in a very small coastal
Around
town.
Valentine's Day.
Nobody
Yeah.
cycles there for obvious reasons.
But they can drink and drive.
And Keith, is it Keith's girlfriend, this woman?
It's
No.
not clear. I
She's a
think,
colleague,
I
Right.
think she's into him though.
but she wants to be more than a colleague.
Because she's
Who,
like, you need to sort this out, Keith, so you can make partner. Yay, partner! Yeah, it's the partner alarm. And he's like, okay. Krusty Christie walks in a red dress, which I think is a bit overstated for a ball.
She did look good though. I'd like
She
to.
looked good for a
Well, she's
skeleton.
not like Sabrina in Teenage Witch, where she turns up in not Teenage Witch, whatever that film was.
Oh, the Christmas one where she turns up in an actual wedding
In an
dress.
actual wedding dress. You know, Sabrina from Teenage
What was that called?
Christmas.
Christmas, Christmas bastards. Yeah.
A cracking good time.
It's the one where the Nutcracker goes back to being a Nutcracker, and a random dude who's the same guy shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That was a
remember
good
now.
film. I appreciate
was-
that more now.
In hindsight, a lot of things look better, don't they, when compared with dross like this? So yeah, he's like, no, lady from my office, I'm gonna do something else. I don't know. I lost here. I lost my
You
sense
know,
of direction.
Oh yeah, that sounds nice. And then kind of
I
like
was
fobbed her off.
watching it, but not watching it at the same
None
time.
of it went
got
in.
So boring.
My next bit is
Staring at the screen, but nothing.
Oh, and then Jeff turns up, who's her ex.
did that happen?
Yeah, the ex turned up, and Keith Anus is about to walk off.
And he goes, oh,
She's
and he
like, grabs
stands
him
there
back.
and he's like, she's gonna come dance with me. Fuck you, Jeff.
Right, I must have missed them. My next bit is
His
talking to
girlfriend,
mum.
no, because his girlfriend Tiffany, who he left
Who cheated
Krusty
on her
Christie
with.
for, has married a partner in the firm, so now he's
partner.
single and alone.
Partner, meh. Yeah. Right, again, I must have missed all this just out of sheer boredom.
She's like, oh, what a small world. And he said, oh, when he was in Sydney, he bumped into his ex-girlfriend twice, and he was only there for 3 days or something.
Seems highly unbelievable, but okay.
It's Hallmark.
Yeah, I know. So I think Christy runs off in a sulk at this point. If she goes to speak to her mum, she explains what happens, and her mum gives the fantastic quote of, holy smokes, this calls for chocolate.
Yeah.
Not
Women.
hot chocolate as usual in these films.
Well, it's either chocolate or a bowl of indistinguishable white goo. No,
Yeah, and it's February, isn't it? So hot chocolate's not appropriate in February.
Oh, it's probably all the time in Hallmark films. And then after that, all I've got is dogs run away and then they want to stay together. And that's the rest of my notes because I literally have nothing else.
Well, they've broke up, her and Bill, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Delia, whatever she's called, goes into the vet to talk about Mr. Whiskers, her cat.
Yeah.
That is the laziest naming of a cat.
And he says to her something like, I'm going to put him on some new food to help him lose weight. And she was like, well, what about me? And then they do the whole, I wasn't saying you were fat thing. And then that's their love story start.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Bill ends up happy as well.
Yeah, there's
That's
three
nice.
lots of happiness
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because the mum goes on a date, doesn't she, with the man?
with homeless Dan.
That's Dan.
He looks,
He likes that.
it's
She
all his
likes it.
biking.
I have no memory of Dan at all whatsoever.
Dan!
I may have seen a different cut of this film where they cut out the more boring parts, it would appear.
No, because when she goes for this date, Dan turns up. And it's the guy who looks homeless with his trainers and his suit on.
Right.
And
It's,
she's
um,
like, oh, it's you,
Real estate
Dan.
guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's him. Yeah, the real estate guy. And he says that Keith has helped set up all his little gifts to her.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. You see the one that's trying to build the condos then?
No,
No.
he's a cyclist as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Everyone is in this town, apparently.
Yeah.
Cyclists or tiddlywinks, no swimming. Right, okay, then that happens. I think evil
Well,
not
then-
girlfriend partner
Laura, she's called.
Laura says, tells them that Keith is going to help the condos get built by laws. or
Then
something.
that crazy woman in the cafe slaps down the newspaper in front of Chrissy and says, look at your boyfriend. He's a bastard.
All right, again, this sounds quite exciting now, doesn't it? Like,
And she goes, and then that's their let me explain moment.
I see, right. Yeah, and he goes over. She goes over and is like, "You bastard!" And he goes, "No, that's not what happened." And she goes, "Okay, fair enough."
Then she has stomping off cordial and just walks out of the building.
Yes. Then Gidget runs away. She goes to find her and Simon has run away again. So they go out to try and find them. They have a heart-to-heart. She's like, why would you want to stay here? I live here, and I'm all right with it. And he's like, but what if I wanted to settle here? And she's like, well, that'd be cool. And I'm like, is it? You're going to fight psychopaths together?
No, they want psychopaths now.
Just this woman.
Also, isn't this a massive conflict of interest? Like, this would get thrown out of a court if the two solicitors, lawyers were knocking each other off.
Wouldn't even get to court over a bloody psychopath.
Americans love litigation.
That man with his kite's going to put in a petition to have a kite flying area.
Yes, yeah. He's
I
gonna
want
put
to run down the road with my kite, and there's nowhere for me to do that.
straight into
I
some
have
power
to stand
lines.
still for hours.
This is not what Dick Van Dyke died for. Dick Van
not
Dyke's
dead,
still
is it?
very still very much with us after the Dolphins rescued him. And then they're like, okay, let's be friends then, and I'll move here and we'll be cool. They get a psychopath, I think.
I don't think it
Oh,
within the timeline.
No, they get a psychopath because Keith goes out on a bike, falls over in the middle of a road in front of all the tourists, and then he goes to the judge and says, we need a psychopath, I were nearly killed.
Fucking hell, right.
Do you not remember that bit?
I do remember that, but
That
I'm
was
just
brilliant.
I was doing other things at the
He
time,
does good
clearly.
acting, falling off the bike and
Metabolizing
everything.
food into energy. Then I'm guessing they're like, hey, we got a bike path together. There's nothing we can't accomplish. And then they do a deep kiss and it finishes.
deep kissing.
Basically.
There's a jingle.
And she gets to keep the dog after all that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
'cause she's-
yeah.
Yeah, she goes to see Bill, and Bill's like, we were friends before we were lovers. And I was like, don't say lovers to me, Bill. I don't want to think of your wet, pallid corpse flopping around on top of me.
Thinking of bear claws.
reeking of rancid yeast and ghee. And and he's like, yeah, keep the dog. I don't give a shit. I'm a terrible bear.
I already knew you weren't going to want to give that dog away.
Yeah. So I had the woman killed.
Now she's in a woods.
And Chip Law is on the way.
You said I was boring. Would a boring man do this? Kill a woman?
Would a boring man do this? And then he just slowly peels an onion. Yeah, Bill.
Do you know what this film was missing? Beverly.
Beverly would have jazzed it right the crook up, yeah.
We need to find out what film she's in more, and we'll watch all
I don't
her
think
films.
she's going to play Beverly in every film that she's in.
I think she might.
If ever they need a overly zealous camp counselor, that's who they go to. And then
It'll be like Unleashing Mr. Darcy, where it's like marrying Mr. Darcy, impregnating Mr. Darcy. Maybe there'll be campfire kiss, campfire nudity.
Campfire math song. Every number of pi you get correct, I take an item of clothing off.
She's there in a big, like Joey from Friends
She's
with all
got
his
all her clothes on, yeah. And a snood. Yeah, she can't hear any singing.
She puts all these layers on, and he only knows 3.142, and then that's it.
That's all you need to know. Anything beyond that is showing off. And that's
We
the
finished
film,
the film,
we guess.
yeah.
Yeah. They do some
What are we
kissing.
talking about? We've gone mad.
They do some kissing, and then I think the dogs kiss and wink at the camera.
And then the car flies off into the distance.
Yeah. And that's the film. It was just boring. Nothing happened. It committed the cardinal sin of just being boring. I'm going to give it half a bronze bear claw.
Oh, you went for bear claws. I was going to give it 2 signatures on a petition.
I'm going to give it half the width of a man's hand.
Katie's just sticking with a man's hand. She's found her limit, and that's what we're going with now.
1 thumb of a man's hand. So I have to say, these people are as boring as the film at the start. So the main character was Jennifer Finnegan, who played Christy. I just put, clearly I just wasn't interested in this woman. I've just put lots of TV work, nothing I've really heard of.
Fair enough.
So I did. I was just obsessed with the fact that I thought her and the mum were the same age, and so I did look it up. And she's 42, and the mum is 45.
So she would be 3 years
What
old.
did you do?
I was just like, because there's this thing, isn't there, that women can't play main characters after the age of 30. So I was like, oh well,
Yes.
good for her playing it in her 40s, but then ruins that whole feminist thing by then having the mum 3 years old. It's like, oh, we can't have an actual old woman, a proper.
No,
old
that's
woman on it.
gross. Ugh.
That'd be disgusting. So yeah, but the mum Linda was in Unleashing Mr. Darcy as the mum in that.
Oh,
She plays the mum.
How did we not see that?
To be honest, it said she was in Mr. Darcy as Linda, and it took me ages to find out who Linda was, but it was the mum.
So she's just called Linda in everything.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
She's
That's
just
easy enough.
a mum character. Okay, so Keith Amos was Sam Page. He is sort of, I've put him down as general handsome man.
Yeah.
He's just a handsome man that's in lots of things. So, but he's been in some quite famous things. He's been in Mad Men, House of Cards, and Kimmy Schmidt, which is where I recognised him from. The announcement from Kimmy Schmidt.
Who is he in Kimmy Schmidt?
So he is that ex-army guy with PTSD that she dates for a while.
Oh,
He
yeah.
like scares her, and then she has a PTSD reaction, and he has a PTSD reaction, and then
Yeah.
they
Trauma is fun. Yeah.
trauma fun. Yeah. So, and then I just went into his backlog of films. He's just been in random shit for years. He's in a film called The Secret Society of Second-Born Royals,
Ooh.
which looks so shit. So it's about second-born royals, obviously, who have to save the world.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, 100% on board for that.
Yeah, definitely. And then another credit is when he was in a program called Imaginary Bitches, in an episode called Only Crazy Girls Queef.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imaginary. I want a good program. What are you thinking about? Imaginary.
Shall I write a synopsis for that?
Imaginary Bitches. What? For Only Girls Queef. Crazy Girls Queef.
Just a load of imaginary dogs, female dogs.
Hey.
And then it was written by a power writing couple called Ron and Ruth Cutler. So they wrote it
Booth?
together. Ron and Ruth.
Oh, I thought you said Ron and Booth. I was like, Booth's not a name. It's a
Mrs.
place you buy tickets
Bouvier.
from.
So this film is their only entry on IMDb. If you Google them, then they have more, which I think they've tried to disassociate themselves with. One is called My Stepson, My Lover.
Hang on, I've seen videos like this on the internet. What are you
And
doing,
the other
stepson?
one is called Willie Dynamite.
Did you say Billy or Willie?
Willie.
Even better.
The tagline is "Ain't no one crosses Willie D." So yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
so
can watch.
that's porn.
That's yeah.
No, that sounds like a spoof of blaxploitation films. Like I'm going to get you sucker.
I think it was a blaxploitation one. Yeah.
Will you put it into Google, Joe?
I'm not putting in explosive Willy Dynamite.
Do you remember getting Harry Potter for my mother?
Oh, let's not do that again. Two women in cat masks whipping each other.
I think everyone, me and everyone else on the podcast needs to know about all that.
I've been through it before.
Oh.
Listen to whatever episode it was where I go into great detail about that. Yeah, I'll
Oh.
find it. I'm sure I've told you anyway.
Pardon?
I'm sure I've told you in the real world anyway.
Probably. You know my memory. Shit. But the best actor of all, Gidget.
Gidget.
Yeah, Gidget is an actual dog.
I don't
A
think it was
real-life dog.
CGI.
Gidget is an actress, and I just loved her bio. So she's an obedience earth dog. I think I've missed half a sentence off. So when not acting, Gidget loves hikes, fetching, and most of all, food. She also visits elementary school students as a reading education assistant dog. Gidget lives with her owner in Vancouver, British Columbia, and of course, she is the width of a man's hand.
Yes.
And how do I know this? She is Rose from Unleashing Mr.
Of
Darcy.
course.
What on earth?
Of course.
How do we not spot that? That's the mum and the dog.
Look
I
at
know.
them linkage lining up like a planet.
Almost like we didn't plan this at all. I just randomly picked a film off Amazon.
So yeah, she's really called Gidget as well, named after the cartoon in the 50s, whatever it was. That's her
Gidget the
real name.
Midget, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was off Gilligan's Island, but no, it's some surfing cartoon from the 50s. She's a girl and she surfed, so they call her Gidget because it's
Yeah.
portmanteau of girl and midget, which isn't horrible.
But yeah, that's my facts.
Lovely stuff. Ba-ba.
I found a grand total of 6 reviews for this film, and I've
I-
picked 2, and they are 2 returning customers.
Yes. Oh man, I hope it's that guy that signs everything, Alan Colchester.
First up, you might remember Hell Franstan.
I do remember him. We are close friends now.
Oh yeah. Well,
No.
he or she gave it a 10 out of 10 with the tagline: "Good use of over 30s, 50s, and dogs."
Wait, over 30s, 50s, no 40-year-olds allowed.
No.
Both the women were in their 40s.
Not according to Fritz Lang or whatever he's called.
Fan. Right. So they say our whole family enjoyed this movie. The dogs. Hang on, I'm gonna
Ugh.
Sorry. The whole family enjoyed this movie. The dogs are featured well, and 2 generations of adults are represented nicely. In a cheerful way, themes of overcoming pain, loss, rejection, etc. are covered. So I think most viewers will relate to the plots.
You love bike lanes.
What?
He's missed the bike lanes
What?
completely.
Are
Hell
you sure?
Santana, he's focused on the love of mum
The old
and
lady
daughter.
love, yeah. I'm not even that old lady. A 3-year older than the Skellington lady. Oh, he's off the Christmas card list now. Fritz
And-
Van Lang, however he's called. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Julch is back.
Julch!
And I've also realised, having this been the 3rd review I've done of his, I think it is actually Jew Welsh.
That's worse in a way.
So I've been saying Julch. I think it's Jew Welsh.
Oh, they are well.
Never mind. He gave it a 7 out of 10. Loved the ending. When
What?
you have
So boring.
Because it ended. In that case, yes.
Yeah.
when you have 2 dogs that are best friends, you can't fight that. Yes, I recommend it. James Welch Henderson, Kansas, 11/18/2020.
Oh, I love that he signs it like a mad old bastard.
I was like, yay! 3 for
fact-
3.
He is. We must have to just do things that he's reviewed from now on. He's the totem spirit of this podcast. And I mean, that's it. There's nothing else to say about this. It's just objectively nothing, isn't
If
it?
you like talking and
Bike lanes,
yeah,
bike lane legislation.
there's not really anything else going for it. Oh, dogs, you know.
Yeah, but even the dog
But
was
then,
featured that
if you
heavily.
like dogs, watch Unleashing Mr. Darcy.
It's better.
It
There's a
is
man. Yeah. But
Or
yeah.
is Eat, Play, Love? Has that got dogs in it as well?
Yes, it's got Gidget in it as well.
What?
Gets around that dog.
Gidget the Hallmark dog.
Yeah.
Well, I know who I don't know. This has been a
The
chore.
real life actress who's actually a dog.
Yeah, well, she enjoys hiking, licking her balls.
Licking her balls.
That's it. In conclusion, that was 2017's Walking the Dog, aka the most boring film about bike lanes you'll ever see.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Don't watch it. Watch something better, like anything.
Like marrying Mr. Darcy.
Like Marrying Mr. Darcy or the Exploding Wedding Cake one. See, everything looks better in hindsight. When you get a stinker like this, everything gets retroactively
Yeah.
pushed up a grade
Yeah.
because you don't get that many bad ones. Your favourite quote from the film? Take us out, if there is one.
Can't remember it.
Holy smokes, this calls for chocolate. Goodbye.
Like no one's got action trousers on.